So some properties of classes. First one, inheritance. Very typical word, inheritance. So inheritance simply means we are acquiring some property of our parent. We all are child, we all are object of human class. So my parent is there, so let's say if there is parent class, there will be a child class also. So I have some property of my parent, you all have some properties of your parents also. This concept is known as inheritance. Inheritance is creating a child class. Inheritance is creating a child class or subclass, same thing, just different words, from a parent class. From a parent class. Inheritance is creating a child class or subclass from a parent class. So what it allows? Inheritance allows us inheritance allows us to inherit properties and behaviors. Class will always have only two things: properties, it can be attributes, data, everything is a property, attributes, and behaviors, which is method. Behaviors, which is method. Inheritance allows us to inherit properties from one class to another class, or from parent class to child class. In ABAP, we use inheriting from keyword. Inheriting from keyword to specify the parent class, okay, from which the child class will inherit. We specify the inheriting from keyword. This particular keyword is used. Keyword, okay. Okay, inheriting from keyword is used. Then with this inheritance, we have a concept of final class also. If you remember, when we created our this usual ABAP class, on that pop-up icon there was a checkbox final class, and I told you we will see it later. So if you check in the properties, it has been logged out. Okay, let me reopen. If we check the properties of this class, display properties, we are going to see this class is final here, right? So this is the same thing, checkbox that we have selected from there, final. So what is a final class? A final class is a class which cannot be inherited. Class is a class which cannot be inherited. Let's say a guy did not married, so he will not have any children, so he will become the final class, right? So a final class is a class which cannot be inherited. In ABAP, we use final keyword to mark a class as final class. We give the final keyword in the definition. So a final class cannot be subclassed. A final class cannot be subclassed, meaning we cannot create any child classes from this final class. We cannot create any child classes from this final class. So at this moment we have this final class. If I will try to create a child class for this one, it is going to allow me or not. Let's check. I will go to SE38. I will define a concept here, inheritance program, inheritance final class. Okay, create inheritance and final class, type executable. So let's say I am defining a child class here, class child inherit definition inheriting from the parent class. Let's say I'm passing it. Okay, I'm passing it and I'm giving here end class. Now if I will go for syntax check, see the error. The final class cannot have any subclasses. At this moment we have marked this as a final, that is why it is not allowing. If you want, unmark it and activate it. Now try that. See, no error. We can have the subclasses. We can have the subclasses of it also. So this subclass is going to simply access, this class is simply going to access the properties of this class also. It will have this method also. It will have this method. So if you create any object of this class, it can access all the properties of this thing. Let's check it out. I will declare the structures. SE38, I'm going to declare the structure. Calling class to program local class. Bring the structure and select option. Okay, and I'm going to create the object of this child class, start of selection. I will create a object of it. Hello obj is equal to new keyword, my class name child. Okay, this is the declaration, and I'm simply calling the method of this child now. So hello obj. We can also use that thing also, pattern, ABAP object pattern, hello obj, our class name child, and our method name. Let's see that whether it is calling from this interface or not. Employee details, pass here. Okay, so for local classes this do not allow us, we will have to manually call it. All right, so hello obj, our method name, employee details. We will have exporting parameter. What is the exporting parameter in it? Select option of this type. Okay, so select option is equal to my S employee ID from here, and we will have a importing parameter also. We will bring the data. LT table is equal to my LT employee. Right, done. I will simply display it. Okay, let's display it. So loop, where is my loop? I'm going to display it. I'm going to simply display it. I have created the object of my child class. I'm trying to access this method which is inside the parent class. Let's check it out. Execute, pass some value and check. Yeah, it's working. We are getting the results. We are getting the results perfectly fine. It's working, right? It's working. Same thing we can do here for local classes also. If you don't want from global class, let's say I'm defining this same global class, local class there. Class definition, then class implementation, So definition, let's name it parent. I'm naming this class as parent so that it will be easier for us to understand. And this parent also, class parent definition, class parent implementation, and let's say I'm inheriting from my parent class now. Instead of this one, I'm inheriting from my parent class. So this child class will inherit the feature of parent class. We have a method here, employee details. This employee details will receive this as a importing parameter. Oh, we have p employee id here, so let's change it to p employee id. Then we have lt table. Okay, it's fine. Lt table will receive the data and we will get the output, right? So let's check that. Some problem is there. Class and class. Only methods can be defined between class implementation and type child is unknown. Wait a second. Oh, sorry. This end class is missing here. End class. No, it's fine. Check, activate, execute, pass the value and get the result, right? Still working. You can use global, local, same to same approach. Totally up to you which one you want to use, right? Any questions?
No
No
questions.
question. Is it clear?
Hmm?
Okay. All right. So inheritance and final classes. Then we have abstract class, abstract class, abstract class. So abstract class is a type of class. Abstract class is a type of class that cannot be instantiated. First thing, that cannot be instantiated. That is, we cannot create any object that cannot be instantiated, that we cannot create any object. Instead, it serves as a blueprint, serves as a blueprint, as a blueprint for other classes, serves as a blueprint for other classes. Okay. So using this class, we will create subclasses and then we can create the objects. But we cannot create any object of direct abstract class. What is abstract class? A class that cannot be instantiated. Then it is a special type of class. Special type of class. Type of class in which, which type of class which has at least at least at least one abstract method. Is a special type of class which has at least one abstract method. What is abstract method? Mukul, what is abstract method? Do you remember your college days?
No, not sure.
Okay. So abstract method is a method whose definition part is there, implementation is not there, only definition. So abstract method is a type of method which only method which only or which has only definition but not any implementation, which only has definition but there is no implementation. Okay, we cannot create objects, we cannot create objects of abstract class, cannot create it. However, we can create we can create objects of subclasses of abstract class. We can create object of subclasses of abstract class. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'll this is all for today. I will not continue it. These concepts are really deep. Okay, next week we will see it in detail. Its implementation part, it will take some time. Okay.